In this video, I'm going to talk to you about the metronome. It's a good exercise for warming up the wrist, and it's an exercise in its own right for beginners to be able to get that wrist strength and learn the centre of gravity of the mace and how the mace reacts and balances as well. So we start off in our rack stance. Then what we want to do is move the mace from side to side slowly and under control to about shoulder width or more. Feet can be in that shoulder width stance as we discussed in the rack, and the hands need to be below the belly button or just level with it. You don't want to be too high, as this isn't quite the metronome. You'll find it more difficult if you come lower. Again, feel free where you want to choke up the mace. However, careful not to go too high, because eventually it turns into a pendulum because the centre of gravity is about there, so you need to keep your hands below that height. So once again, we go from side to side. So from one shoulder to the other is 1 rep, one shoulder to the other, 2nd rep. And keep that under control, maintaining the return to the rack stance position. And then, as per everything with the mace, we switch hands and do it again on the other side. Feel free to watch the mace head if you want, or just keep focused forward. That is the metronome. Again, as a beginner exercise, you might find that you need to do the metronome with the sledgehammer instead. Now it's the same principles again. Remember the rack stance starting position, and we go from one side to the other. You might find this a little bit more difficult with the sledgehammer than the steel mace, because all the weight is in the head rather than through the handle as well. Especially if you've got a heavier sledgehammer, you might find this quite difficult. However, it's a good exercise to work on and keeps the wrists activated and strengthens them up ready for the steel mace.